Alright, finished up that Bronco stuff. I did buff out a little bit on the grill, a little bit of the flare where we got a sagger. Basically all this ready for Phil to come pick up. Alright, so finishing up the stuff on, I think that's the 73 Bronco, the blue one. Obviously, it's got that stuff knocked down and it's headed off to Phil hopefully tomorrow. They finished the tailgate and the roll bar. These might be Tom's exclusive, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that they came up with that design when we were building the blue Bronco. And what's kind of cool about this Bronco is it used to run a roll bar, and it would actually be in the way of your glove box door. The glove box door stopped here, and then you have that bar came down, so you couldn't use your glove box. And also on this side, it was in the way of your emergency brake lever. So basically, these have a plate that bolts to your inner rocker, and I believe they go something kind of like that. You thread this and bolt this to your inner rocker, and it allows a lot more, will allow you a lot more leg room and get to keep your glove box. So the goal on this one would be to buzz it down. I'm going to buzz it down with like 180 grit, clean it really well, a little work the tailgate over, and then hopefully we'll get these off to the paint booth. That's the plan, and we'll see if we can get this done. We need to get the roll bar for our 71 buzzed down with 180 grit, and then we come back here with a Scotch-Brite pad and kind of got in a piece of sandpaper, and we're going to hit this and get in here a little bit, but that's just about prepped. So I was kind of thinking, how am I going to paint this roll bar? Like, I need to get at least some epoxy up underneath here just to try to protect it. So, and then still be able to keep it on a stand and move it around. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like a 5/16, this is because what I had, basically weld this here where that hole is, and then set the roll bar down on top of here. So that will actually get my roll bar up about a 3/4 of an inch or so, and then it will allow me to at least spray some epoxy and some material up underneath here, and I won't have my C-clamp ring. I take these off, but there's not really a whole lot holding this roll bar onto this cart. So I'm thinking if I can get this roll bar up on stilts, that it will be easier to get some material up underneath here. That's kind of the plan. I'm gonna weld these on there and get that thing in the air, and hopefully get that thing one step closer to getting in the paint booth. Alright, so we got those 5/16 bolts welded to the top of the cart, and then basically just leaving the threads up, that way I can spray this entire piece instead of having like a nickel size place where my clamp was. Also, I noticed this thing was a little teeter-tottery, so I went ahead and just going to leave a nut here loose so I can still spray around there, but if it comes up, it only goes so far and doesn't take a header when I'm trying to push it in and out of the paint booth. Tim's Bronco got the roll bar ready to go, and he just dropped off a new tailgate. Basically, the other one looks like it probably had the spare tire carrier on it and somebody backed into something. The tailgate has a bend in it, probably a good 3/4 of an inch. It's pretty whipped up on. So he brought us one of these. tailgate. So we're gonna get out of the box, check it out, make sure it's not too beat up, which hopefully it's not. Didn't need any body work, and then we're gonna scuff it down and hopefully get it and that roll bar all painted up here in the next couple of days. Alright, well it does look like it's packaged up pretty well. Doesn't look like there's a couple little dingers here. Basically it's from the spot welds where they spot weld these panels together. It's not in a black epoxy. Feels like there might be a little dent right there. Looks like something's hit it. You know, something probably before they put it in the box and shipped it. It's kind of a bummer, but I guess we'll do a little filler work on those spot welds anyway. So we'll buzz this down with 80 grit. Looks like it's got some kind of a zinc coating on it or something. Maybe keep it from rusting. So other than that, it feels pretty good. Oop, the dent right there. Let's see it. See that or not? But I can feel a little dinger right there. And actually, right here. So what's going on here is probably when they stamped this and it cut this piece out here, it probably and then put these dents in there. I bet it stretched some of that metal. So there's kind of a funky spot right there, right there. But other than those couple spots, we'll grind those down with some 80, mix up a little bit of filler, and then do some filler work, primer it, and then we'll feather the primer out, and then we'll seal, probably epoxy seal the whole thing, and then we'll paint over top of that. I think that's the quickest, easiest way. And when that's done, we'll bedline the inside, the back of it to match the inside of the Bronco. So at least that's the plan for today. Let's see if we can get this done. Alright, so we got that thing all buzzed down in 80, and then we ran over it back with 180 to take our 80 grit scratches out, and then got our, sorry, I got my fans running. I got my, so it's going to be kind of noisy, but I got my body work done, finished out in 180, and before I primer, I'm going to put some seam sealer on it. So what I've done is I've actually, factory they had seam sealed this edge, probably try to keep moisture from coming back through. So what I do is I taped this off like we do on the quarters. That way, hit the tip of my caulking tube and put it down in here. Seam seal, kind of force it down there and then spread it out. But I like using the tape. I like using the tape because it allows me to put a nice even, you know, straight line all the way across, and not have it bulge out and then have to try to come back and mess with smearing out with my fingers, and getting that, you know, too much in different spots and having it float out uneven. So I'm going to cut the tip of my seam sealer. I'm using Sims Gray Seam Sealer. It's a direct to metal and it's immediately paintable, so up to 24 hours. So on that, I'm going to go ahead and put a thin layer of seam sealer on there. I'm going to let it flash for a little while, and then we're going to throw some 2K primer over a filler, and if we get any on the seam sealer, it won't be a big deal because it should have the up to 24 hours for it to make a chemical bond. So that's kind of the plan on that, and then yeah, let's see if we get things seam sealed, primered, and then we'll let that sit overnight and come back and block it. So we'll go ahead and see if I can get that seam sealed up. Alright, back at it once again. We finished up getting that roll bar and tailgate painted. Tailgate had a couple runs in it. I think I want to redo it. I don't really like the fact that I missed a couple little dingers. There's this little goofy spot here where they like stamped it out. But overall we got some triple saggers there. So I think I'm going to redo that. I kind of got in a hurry on it. Knock a couple of those little dingers out. I don't really like that. So I could wet sand those runs out. And if I have to rebase it, gotta rebase it. Next step would be to put if I don't paint it, is put the bed liner on the back side. We only paint it up to here. So basically tape right on that edge and then down here somewhere. Then back tape this, scuff it all up. Spray some of my Raptor in there like we did on our floor pans. But I just want to show you guys the roll bar. Thought it turned out pretty cool. So this house of color Clockwork Orange. It's really getting dusty. We're sitting out here. Pulled it out of the booth this morning. Not much sun out right now. Otherwise you could probably see. Not sure if my camera will pick up that orange pearl on that or not without direct sunlight on it, but looking pretty good. And we're just coming to the end of our 70 run Bronco build. So we'll get that wrapped up. We got the hood painted this week for the 71. Or no, this was the 73. This was that great new blue, all polished out. The only thing we did, Phil, was putting the flares back on there, and then fiberglass flare. They did end up cracking. I think what happens is this doesn't fit the fender just perfect, or else they had a small crack in it and I missed it. Basically it's in here somewhere. Anyway, both of those had small cracks. We'll have to touch those up. You know, hey, it is what it is. Anyway, just kind of wrapping up these two Bronco projects. Next one, I think we're going to go on to the C10 crew cab, and then hopefully one of these days the International will come back from Sandblast and we'll get on that. So, quick update. If you like this videos, this type of stuff, like us, subscribe, comment below. Remember, you got to repeat something today, even if it sucks. Peace.